Hello, Maddie here. Welcome back to another video about a book. Maybe we'll go on a rant. Who knows? This week we are talking about a very, very special book that is near and dear to my heart. We are talking about Anne and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is the book that got me to France. I read this book, I'm pretty sure I was in high school when I read it for the first time. Like Anna is also in high school. She's going into either her junior or senior year of high school. And her parents are getting divorced or are divorced. And through circumstances, I can't remember if it's like her mom is moving and she'd have to change schools anyways, or like her dad is the one that pays for her school and he's decided she needs to go there. I don't remember exactly what the circumstances are that basically force her hand to accept this. But she ends up transferring schools to an American school in Paris. Obviously, there's people from all over the world that go to this school, but I'm pretty sure it's like an American school. So she gets forced to go to Paris and try to make the best of it. And, ends up loving it because, of course, she makes good friends and does a lot of growing and maturing, which is bound to happen at that age anyways. She gets the fun little catalyst of it all happening in Paris, as opposed to she's from somewhere in the South, Atlanta. And that's honestly just the basis for this book. I wanted to talk about it because I was going through my list I think I said this a couple of videos back. I've made a list of videos I want to do for books that already have blogs. And then I have a list of books that don't have blogs, so they will need a blog and a video. And so I was going through my list of books that already have blogs, because that's usually where I start, because I do kind of want to get the two semi caught up. I'd like most of my books that have been previously posted on my blog to have an accompanying video. So that is something that's more what we're trying to do than introducing new books, even though I've obviously introduced new books. But anyways, I was going through and I was reading the accompanying blogs with some of the books I was thinking about doing. And this one it grabbed onto me. It's a really well-written blog. Really, the blog is about having the courage to pursue the things that you deeply desire. Because getting to Paris was an uphill battle, let me tell you. So I'd had this desire to go to Paris for years. And once I finally got accepted into A&M, which was a little bit of time, that's a whole part of my story. Once I got accepted into A&M, I started looking into exchange programs. And kind of in the midst of looking into these programs is when I had to withdraw from school. I had to withdraw from school because my mental health did really, really bad. And I got an official diagnosis. And to get me on the right medication, it was decided that it would be best for me to be near my doctor so we could kind of play around with stuff and figure out what works without having, mega detrimental effects on my life. I was able to do it within the safety of my parents' home when really my only goal for that semester was to heal. But that put a big, huge, ginormous wrench in my plans. By the time I got back to school, my only real options for going abroad, it really wasn't going to be able to do a study abroad like through my school. It was basically, I was going to have to find something on my own. And I did. I found an internship program that connected you with the host family, connected you with a company, and you were over there for 6 months. And getting people at A&M to sign my paperwork was like one of the biggest headaches. And because, Paris is, I think, 7 hours ahead, everything took an extra day because by the time I sent it to them, they were closed for the day, wouldn't see it till the next day. So by the time they saw it and then it would get it back to me, it'd be a whole nother day. And it was crazy. And I was leaving in January and I got everything turned in like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I remember literally delaying driving back home because I was scrambling to get everything signed because I had I had one person who was the person that was supposed to be signing my stuff, refusing to sign my stuff. And she sent me on a wild goose chase to multiple other places. And they literally all pointed me back to her and was like, no, she needs to sign this paperwork. It was a headache. It was a headache. It was a headache. It was a headache. Literally, if I remember correctly, that Wednesday, she didn't even sign it. Somebody else signed it because they were like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Like, I will just sign it. I should not be the one signing this, but like, it's probably going to be fine. And it was fine. But I got all that done. And then Christmas break, I had to get my visa, and my sister and I drove to Houston to get my visa, and I got that back, and that was just one of the greatest moments ever. And I went to Paris. I was semi-confident in my French. I knew it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was going to be like good enough, and it like so wasn't. It took me at least a month, maybe 2 of the 6 months before they didn't immediately switch to English when they talked to me. So because it's Paris, a lot of people speak at least some English. And if your accent was not good, they would just switch to English to talk to you. Because that is the big key with French. More than vocabulary and conjugation and whatever, if your accent is not spot on, they know it and they won't accept it. So I literally, my first day there, just started crying because I had a bad interaction. Like, it wasn't bad, like anything negative happened, but it was bad and just like made me realize how not good my French was. And it was stressful and I was tired. And so I thought I had prepared for being okay with unknowns and being okay with being in a different place where they spoke a different language with, no safety net, no anything to come home to. It's not like I could go home to my parents or at that point, Evan, who was my boyfriend. I couldn't see any of my friends. Like, by the time I wanted to talk to anybody, they would either be like in class or at work or asleep or whatever. And it was really, really difficult. But like Anna, who, eventually learns to place her order in French in the cafeteria, who, eventually learns to accept help from people. She learns to have the desire to make this place her home, even if it wasn't what she chose for herself. I chose it for myself. And so I was actively working at trying to make it, my home away from home from the beginning, but the sentiment stays the same. There was lots of growing and learning and developing that needed to happen to make this be a positive experience for both Anna and myself. And that's how a lot of life is. A lot of life is kind of things just happening to you. Yes, we pursue people and jobs and maybe, places to live. We do pursue these things, but there are so many things that are out of our control. You pursue this job, you don't control your coworkers or your manager or the company you're working for. You pursue a spouse, you don't control, the nuances of their personalities or hobbies or their family or their friends. There's so many other unknowns, even if you are pursuing this specific thing. And so being able to take on life's challenges, to be able to get through the overwhelmingness that is this life, and each individual thing in this life is its own level of overwhelming. Some, zero overwhelming, negative overwhelming. Some of it kind of overwhelming, some of it just so overwhelming you can't function. But I can, from personal experience, tell you that it is so worth pursuing. Yeah, I was sad and overwhelmed and alone, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I say it in my blog, and I said, I had to run all over campus. I would do that 10 times over for that experience because it was so amazing and wonderful. And if you couldn't tell, I left part of my heart in Paris, and I will always have the desire to go back there, and Evan says he'll make it happen, and I believe him. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I really wanted to pick this one because I liked the blog so much of having the courage to pursue things in this life and then actually pursuing them. Because you can want to pursue something and then never do it. You can have the courage to pursue something and then give up. Pursuing something you want in this life and following through and genuinely pursuing it, those are the experiences, not always, but I would say 9 times out of 10 are totally worth it. It's scary and you don't know if you'll add up. You don't know if you'll be good enough, but you never know unless you try. You never know if you can make it in another country. You never know if you can make a marriage work or a job work or any relationship to anything at all ever. You never know. I don't know where this is from, but the answer is always no if you don't ask. That's just true. If you never ask, the answer will always be no, because you haven't given it the chance to be anything else. That's all I really wanted to say. But like I said, I picked this book because I liked the blog so much about pursuing things that are difficult. And I seriously encourage you to check out the blog because it goes into a lot more detail about Anna and Etienne. We love Etienne. It goes a lot more into just her story of self-discovery. It goes more into the details of my trip to Paris and, exactly how this book got me there and a little bit more of the nuances of that and some of my experiences there because of this book. One of the big ones being, so this book got me to Paris. And if you don't know, my now husband, Evan, came to Paris and proposed on our 1-year anniversary. Oh, yes, I know, so cute. He proposed with a copy of Anna and the French Kiss that he destroyed, to use in the proposal. So he also got me a Hamilton card, and that has his actual proposal on it, which I'm not going to read to you. And then this is where my ring was. It says 0.0. Very, very important to both Anna's and my story. So it's 0.0, and then this is actually a ring box where the ring was. So that's another way that this story is a part of my story, and another reason why it means so much to me. It got me to this place that I love. It was included in the proposal to the man that I love. And then here's one more copy. This is the collector's edition that I actually, so in my blog, I mentioned the pre-order because that's where it was when I wrote that blog. This is on pre-order, and if you pre-ordered it, you could write a note to the author and she would write in your book. So I told her that this book got me to Paris, and that my now husband proposed to me in Paris using Anna and the French Kiss. Look at how beautiful those edges are. And it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. But she wrote, Madeline, it sounds like Paris is your magic city. Cheers to your Arc de Triomphe proposal, because that is where Evan proposed. So pretty. And I actually have this on display in our living room. I already have lots of books, but this one has a special display for it. The only book that I'm missing in my collection of Anna and the French Kisses is there's one more version that's like this one, except it's like so dead. It's the copy that I actually took to Paris. It got like rained. It got snowed on. That book got snowed on, and it is like it's a mess. It's such a mess. And I couldn't find it. I figured y'all would be okay with that if you got the other copies. That copy of Anna and the French Kiss actually came with me to Paris and got read a minimum of 2 times while I was there, maybe more. I've read it many times because it just meant so much to me. And I visited a lot of the places that they had in the book, or that they visited, or things happened in the book, because it's what got me there. And so on the days when I didn't know where to go, or the days that I was feeling overwhelmed and I couldn't quite get myself to want to go places, is I would go to places they went in the book. And that got me to do a lot of things that I maybe wouldn't have done on my own. Anyways, that's what I have to say about this book. It's an amazing book, and while it is unlikely it will mean the same thing to you that it did for me, if you're a reader, or, even movies or songs, characters in general that you relate to and that they are the reason you were able to accomplish something, I would love to know what those are in the comments. Like I said, could be a book, could be a movie, could be a song, a character in general, maybe from like a show. I would love to know what that thing was for you that got you to pursue the hard thing, the difficult thing, the overwhelming thing. Because that's exactly what this book did for me. Let me know. And also, just in general, like, comment, and subscribe. That would be really, really awesome and really, really helpful. I would absolutely love that. With all of that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great night, a great week, great weekend, great month, great year. I hope you have all of the greats because you're truly worthy and deserving of them. So until next time, bye. C'est bien.